Certain elements of a design will be more important than others. Increasing the pen weight is a great way to make important geometry stand out on a printed sheet. In this lesson, we will use line weights to add emphasis to geometry. On my screen I have a mechanical part and I'd like to print this drawing, so I'll move up and click the plot icon. I will then choose a plot style table. I will open the pen menu here and I would like all of the layer colors to plot as black, so I'll choose the monochrome pens and I'll click yes when prompted. I'll then choose a printer. I'm going to go with the DWF6 ePlot printer. You can select the printer of your choice. I'd like to use an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. I'll then open the plot area menu and I'll select window. I'll then click 2 points to define the area that I'd like to print. I'd like this geometry centered on the sheet and I'd like to plot it to a scale. So I'll remove the check from the fit the paper setting. Now it looks like the geometry is not going to fit at a scale of 1:1. So I'll open the scale menu and I'll choose 1:2. Based on the small preview, it looks like that setting is going to work nicely. Let's come down and click preview and take a look. If I zoom in on the drawing, you can see that all of the line work is going to plot using the same pen weight. Since the part geometry is the most important aspect of this plot, I would like this line of work to be heavier than the rest so it stands out. To make adjustments to the printed line weights, I'm going to cancel this plot by clicking the X. I'll then close the plot dialog box and I'll come over and open the layer property manager. From here I need to make some adjustments in the line weight column. I'll start by clicking the line weight setting for the part layer. From here I can select a new printed line weight. Now at first glance it may seem a little unusual. These measurements are in millimeters, even though we are working in an imperial environment. Let me hit cancel for a second and I will let the layer properties manager collapse. And I'll show you where you can adjust this setting if you want to. I'm going to right click and I'll choose options from the bottom of the menu. I'll then go to the user preferences tab and then I will come down and click the line weight settings button. Right here you can adjust the default units for your line weights. To use inches, simply select the radio button. I'd leave things the way they are, so I'll click the X to close this dialog box and then I will click the X to close the options. I'll then go back to the layer properties manager. I will click the line weight setting for part layer and I would like this to be a relatively heavy pen weight, so I'll choose 0.5 millimeters and I'll click OK. The next most important item in my print is going to be the dimensions, so I will click the line weight property for that layer and we will make this a little thinner. I'll select 0.25 millimeters, then I will adjust the center lines. I'll make this thinner yet. I'll select 0.13. Then finally I'll adjust the pen weight for the hatch. We will make this the thinnest pen weight of all, 0.05. When I'm finished I will move outside the palette and let that collapse and then we'll print this drawing again. Now fortunately I don't have to go through and redo all of these settings. There's a really nice menu at the top of this dialog box. If I open it I can choose previous plot and this will repopulate all of the settings with the previous values. From here I can come down and click preview and then we will zoom in and take a look. As you can see, by incorporating pen weights the part geometry has a stronger presence on the sheet. Some of the line work that isn't quite as important, like the center lines and the hatch geometry, fade into the background. To finish the plot I'm going to move up and click the plot icon in the upper left corner. Since I'm plotting this to a file, I will make sure I am saving it on the desktop. I'll keep the default name and I will click Save. When the plot is finished, I will right click on the plot and publish icon and choose View Plotted File. And you can see an example of the finished print on screen. As you can see, proper use of line weights can add emphasis to the important aspects of a design. Master this concept and your printed drawings will always be easy to understand, no matter how complex they may be.